Hi, I'm Rebbeca Docherty, and this is the Aussie Freedom Flyers podcast for the 20th of July, 2023. We're here for unbiased news about the pandemic impact on people in the aviation industry and to be an advocate and to provide assistance for those standing up for themselves. With me today is Lauren Keamy, former Qantas Group employee. Welcome, Lauren.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Well, welcome. Thanks for being here. So please tell us what's going on. You're part of the Magnificent 24 in your court case. What's been going on?
Well, our Magnificent 24 has gone down to about 16 as of this year. We're now cutting it down to 5, whether people have moved on because of financial reasons, but it's dwindled down to 5, and we are unrepresented at this stage. So we're forging ahead, and we have trial set for September, early September.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's it's a huge drop off of people. Yeah. So well done for standing up and wanting justice, because what's happened is really. Mentally it's been taken a big toll on everyone, so well done for standing strong.
Thank you. I feel it's more intuitive and just sort of going with our guidance from now on, because there's been so many times that I've felt the need to just drop off myself, because it is quite emotionally draining, but something in me just keeps saying, you need to continue, and you need to continue this fight for everybody. So that's why we're still here.
Thank you for doing that. It's great that you've got a voice and you guys are standing up and fighting the good fight. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me a bit about yourself and your employment with Jetstar and how that was for you.
Yeah, so I was Melbourne dual base. So I worked as cabin crew for Jetstar Airways for 14 years. The first probably 9 years was full-time, and then the later years I took part-time. I've been a primary carer for both my parents, who have now deceased, and I was going through the termination process while my father was on his deathbed. So it has been a huge emotional toll on me during that time. So Qantas, Jetstar for 14 years, and yeah, I loved it. I actually really loved the job, and yeah.
Yeah, I know. I loved it too. I was there for almost 16 years, and I was permanent part-time, and I have two daughters, so it worked well for looking after them and having that time, 10 shifts a month. It was great. But yeah, so they terminated me, and it's been really difficult for me to know how to navigate what's next. So tell me about the termination. How did that happen?
So as you know, we all had a deadline to be vaccinated by, and within the months leading up to that, I was very hesitant, as were many people, and I requested risk assessments, and I wanted to meet with my managers. They wouldn't allow me into the area because I wasn't vaccinated after the date. So they just continued the termination process. And that led to me being, just fired. So yeah, it was a long process, and I don't really feel like they wanted to listen, or they had any agenda apart from getting rid of us. So as soon as that date came about, it was ticking boxes.
Yep, they were told what to do. They were that was their job, and that's what it was. And there was no compassion. They were cold like robots, taking away somebody's, lifestyle and their joy and the social life, because that's what it was for, being a flight attendant. It's such a great social life. You're working with different people all the time. So yeah, it's taken away, they've taken away a lot from us, and they need to be accountable for that. So how's it come that you're unrepresented? So what's happened there?
This is the interesting story. So we were with a lawyer named Robert Greeley, who was, I think, sought us out, if I can remember correctly. And we realized that he was a human rights lawyer, and he, not so much a human rights lawyer, but he was actually fighting the good fight, and he had a voice, and we trusted this man to start the process of all of us, the Mag24 being a group. It became a huge case, and he was probably finding it a little bit challenging to take on everything that came with this case. So he decided to join another law firm, so the resources would obviously be greater, and he could manage the case quite well. So he joined with a law firm called JKR Lawyers, which are based in Brisbane. And almost the moment we started with JKR law firms, our case just turned 180. So not only did we lose faith in Rob and the team, we just sort of felt we were not supported, or we just weren't listened to, I suppose. So a lot of the directives and a lot of our sort of rebuttals as to what they wanted, they weren't listening. The communication was extremely poor. We went some weeks up to 6 weeks without having communication. And it was just, we've lost sort of faith in the legal system after this. So, I suppose Qantas and this situation is incredibly damaging for our, aviation, our futures. But to go through loss of support from a legal firm, that's just 100-fold now. We just don't know where to go from here.
Yeah, well, how's the case proceeding? How's the court process going with that? Like, what happened there?
So do you mean when we decided to leave JKR?
Yeah.
So we did get a lot of correspondence after we were ranting and raving as to not hearing from them, and we got a letter of an offer from Qantas, which was highly offensive. It wasn't even some people's monthly wage, and it was just really, it was such a small amount. And so some people took it because obviously there's financial stresses, but I believe what came with it was the threatening letter that we got from our lawyers if we don't take it. It came across very abrasive, as if we will lose the case. And we don't, and we didn't really have anything to go by. So a lot of red flags came up.
Yeah, I'm sure. What kind of, can you touch on can you tell me what kind of things that were in the letter? Is there any sort of that you can recall, like the wording or the bullying or the threatening?
Well, it wasn't so much bullying. It wasn't bullying from JKR. It was more, you don't have a leg to stand on. Even though for months we were actually, we know our case is strong and it's getting stronger by the day. And in light of what's coming out, we know that we're going to forge ahead. But I believe whether or not, and this is just my own personal opinion, I believe Qantas had direct contact with JKR law firms and they turned the case against us. Yeah. So I feel we've been sabotaged. Yeah.
So what's happened is the two firms have come together and they've had a bit of a chit chat, and they've been the snakes. They've done the dirty, and you know,
you can't write about this. Like, it's,
I know, right?
yeah,
You've been thrown onto the bus. Big time.
I mean, it's really quite humorous, really. You start with a law firm who you think has your back, and they actually blindside you more than what your employers have done. So
it
it's
blows you
incredible.
away. And I mean, you know, after, you know, you said that you lost both of your parents, and at the time your dad was really ill and passed away, and you were being terminated, and it must have just been, I mean, wow, you're a strong woman, because that must have been so hard, and not having the support after being with Jetstar for over 14 years for them in your situation, which I'm sure you would have said, look, this is what's going on in my personal life, and now, you know, you want to force me to take a medical procedure which is not trialed or tested. There was no placebo group. I'm got, you know, and you know, our health is, you know, more important than our job. Unfortunately, they don't see it that way, and you know, we got you know, treated so unfairly and poorly. So, you know, good on you for keeping on going, keep on keeping on.
Yeah,
So
I felt bullied from Qantas, from my employers at Jetstar during that process. And for me, that's sort of the one thing that I'm really trying hard to get over, because I know it's done. But at the same time, going through this case, it just highlights to me how ruthless they were, and how cold. And there was, to me, I just felt bullied and harassed the entire time that I had to tell them to stop writing, and I had to prove that my father had died for them to stop calling me. It was deplorable, disgusting behavior.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's so many words, assholes, that, you know, what a bunch of bad people.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and I don't want to see any harm come to them, but I want an apology. I would like that, and I would like it, you know, so some reason some people took the settlement. What happened, you know, so for you, why didn't you accept the settlement?
Well, I initially did. We were forging ahead. So the 16 of us were actually forging ahead together, and we were actually a really strong group. I trusted Ellen Dana, who was the leader of our group at that time. And he was just absolutely incredible. He has really just forged our group and given us a lot of confidence along the way. But something in me, and I don't know if you call it guidance or intuition, I was planning on taking the settlement as well, because we were all doing it as a group. And at the 11th hour, something just stopped me. And I just had this nagging feeling, this is not right, this is not right. So I believe that people took it because they're emotionally drained. We've been doing this course for 2 years, you know, going down this case. Probably financial, and their relationships have been hindered along the way. So, you know, it's been a struggle for not only us, but our family and friends. And
that are supporting us.
I just felt there was more to this, and we can't just settle with such a measly amount of money.
Yeah,
not just right or wrong thing to do for anyone, but in my position, that's why I said no.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in intuition and following. When you hear something, you feel something. You know, I believe in that we have souls, and my soul says no. And I believe, you know, that's part of our human DNA, and, you know, our divine connection to, you know, our spirit, you know. So can you tell me what happened to Rob Greeley? Where is he now? Like, what have you?
I believe he's taken some time off to regather his cases, or I'm not sure, he's taken some sick leave. So he's no longer taking over the case, but out of the 16 that then became that then became 6, one person decided to continue with the JKR law firm. So Rob really then had some time off, is currently still away. And I've just found out, as of maybe half an hour ago, the 6th person has taken a settlement. One that they are comfortable and happy with. They are happy with.
So that could be different.
Well, okay. I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. But I've just found out. So it's a little bit of a surprise to me to hear that.
Okay, yeah, I bet it is. You kind of want to know more details on that for sure. So why didn't JK Law give you another lawyer?
They tried to get rid of me because I was asking too many questions, and they tried to get rid of a couple of the others, saying, we'll be happy just to refer you to somebody else. But then when we actually needed some support, they couldn't give us anyone to. Yeah. So look, I mean, it was a bit of a mess. It's actually turned into a bit of a circus, and I feel really sorry for the judge. He's such a beautiful man.
Oh, great.
And we've been in court twice for management hearings, and we all rocked up and we all met the judge on the day. Nobody else turned up. So that was a really daunting. Yeah, it was a daunting thing, but I felt we needed to do that to show the judge how serious we were.
Yeah, I wish you all the best. I'm sure good things will come. Obviously they take some time and we've got to be patient. But yeah, I wish you all the best, and we'll hopefully have you on another episode soon.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lauren. Take care.
Thank you.